Today, we continue our coverage of the Mayoral Candidate Forum presented by the Lake Evansville City Area Chamber of Commerce, KNTR Radio, and today's News Herald. The forum was moderated by KNTR's Roger Galloway and Herald editor Brandon Bowers. Today's question concerns the dangling problem in the sewer debt.
Should the city's sewer debt be tied to your residential water rates? And if not, what is your solution to tackling the sewer debt?
Well, that's always a very difficult question, but one of the things that a lot of people think about is that they say, especially if they've only moved here in the last 4, 5, 6 years, they somehow think that I started the sewer project not understanding that back in 2001, this community voted, I think it was about 78%, to retrofit 25,000 septic tanks. And at that time, the plan was put in place as to how we were going to pay for the sewer. And that was through this method called winter quarter average, which in effect ties your sewer rates to water usage, but it's primarily in the winter time when you're not going to be doing a lot of irrigation. That is not an uncommon practice. I happen to own another home in Goodyear, and lo and behold, I have to follow the winter quarter average in Goodyear as well. One of the positive things about tying the sewer rates to water usage is conservation. When I first started working on the sewer project, and it was some $27 million over budget, and we ultimately brought it in 2 years ahead of schedule and $120 million under budget, the flow rates, in other words, the amount of water that was being used was much higher back then than it even is today, and we had fewer residents because everybody conserved. If you decided what you really want to do is to get rid of that, then you have to have another method. And that was explored in October of 2012 through a variety of staff presentations to the community. And what it showed us, if you, for instance, you decided you wanted to go to a flat rate, forget the conservation, forget water usage, flat rate. It was going to be between $75 and $80 a month, sewer only, to be able to raise enough revenue to pay off our bonds. Those bonds have to be paid off. Or maybe you want to go to a property tax. If you go to a property tax, about 65%, actually it was actually higher than that, I'm sorry, 80% of the community would actually, once they combined their new property tax with the adjusted rate for the sewer, would pay a higher rate. In other words, what you were really doing was those who could least afford it, our retirees, low income, etc., their rates were going to go up, and those who were using a lot of water, their rates were going to go down. And I don't think that's fair. It's just simple math. If 52% of our community, which is correct, is paying the minimum of $41, you can imagine other people are paying more, and those people paying $41 are going to have to go up to meet the middle. So I really don't think that's going to be the answer.
I conducted a scientific survey of the community, and recognizing that in years past I did support the existing system. But what I found was that 91% of our community, our voting adults, hated the current system of water fees tied to sewer fees tied to water usage. It's the most hated policy I believe we've ever had in this community. So in a workshop some time ago, the mayor declared they would do nothing, which means ignore you, and refinance the debt. So front page news was 40 years. They're going to tack that kind of debt load on what you already have. That's good policy, not for me.